Have you ever felt like giving up, that it was all for nothing? Have you ever stood in the wreckage of a victory you fought so hard for, only to realize you have absolutely nothing left to give? It's that hollow silence that follows the noise. The moment the strong one mask finally slips and you're left wondering if the cost of being faithful was just too high. Maybe you've prayed the prayer that feels too honest for a sanctuary. I'm done, and I don't want to carry this anymore. Maybe you're at the end of your rope, even doubted God for a bit. Well, you are not the only one. Let me tell you about a man who sat under a tree and asked to die. His name was Elijah, and if you've ever felt like you had nothing left, you'd recognize him immediately. This wasn't some random guy having a bad day. This was a prophet, a man who had just called fire down from heaven, who had stood alone against 450 false prophets on Mount Carmel and watched God answer with flame and thunder. He had seen the impossible. He had been God's voice in a nation that had forgotten how to listen. And now he was running for his life. Queen Jezebel had put a price on his head. She wanted him dead. And Elijah, this man who had faced down an army of false prophets without flinching, ran. He ran until his legs gave out. He ran until he collapsed under a broom tree in the middle of nowhere. And there, in the shade of that scraggly tree, he prayed the most honest prayer in all of Scripture. I have had enough, Lord. Take my life. Not give me strength. Not give me strength. Not help me persevere. Just, I'm done. Let that sit with you for a second. This is a man who had just witnessed one of the greatest demonstrations of God's power in history. He should have been on a high. He should have been untouchable, but instead he wanted to die. Because burnout doesn't care about your wins. It doesn't care about your calling. It doesn't care how strong you used to be. It finds you in the quiet after the victory. It finds you when the adrenaline fades and you're left alone with the weight of everything you've been carrying. Elijah had given everything. He had stood for God when no one else would. He had been faithful when faithfulness felt impossible. He had poured himself out until there was nothing left to pour. And now he was empty, hollow, a shell of the man he used to be. He didn't see the point anymore. He didn't see the purpose. He looked at his life and thought, what was it all for? But here's the thing. God didn't lecture him. God didn't scold him for being weak. He didn't remind Elijah of all the miracles he'd seen. He didn't give him a pep talk or tell him to pull himself together. Instead, God let him sleep. An angel showed up, touched him gently on the shoulder, and said, "Get up and eat." There was bread, warm and fresh, and water, cool and clean. Elijah ate, and then he slept again. And when he woke up, the angel was still there, waiting. Eat some more. The journey is too much for you. God didn't ask Elijah to be strong yet. He didn't demand that Elijah get back to work. He gave him rest. He gave him food. He gave him time. Because God knew something that Elijah had forgotten. You can't run on empty. You can't keep giving when there's nothing left inside you. You can't carry the weight of the world on shoulders that were never meant to bear it alone. Elijah ate. He drank. He slept. And then, slowly, he began to heal. Not all at once, not with a lightning bolt or a burning bush, but bite by bite, breath by breath. God met him in the practical things, in the mundane mercy of warm bread and cool water, in the quiet kindness of being seen. And then, after 40 days and 40 nights of traveling in the strength of that meal, Elijah reached Mount Horeb, the mountain of God. And there, in a cave, God asked him a question. "What are you doing here, Elijah?" And Elijah answered honestly, "I have been very zealous for you, Lord, but the Israelites have rejected your covenant. They have torn down your altars. They have put your prophets to death with the sword. I am the only one left. And now they are trying to kill me too. I gave everything, and I'm still alone." God told him to stand on the mountain, and then the Lord passed by. First came a great and powerful wind. It tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks, but the Lord was not in the wind. Then came an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. Then came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a gentle whisper. God wasn't in the noise. He wasn't in the spectacle. He was in the whisper, in the quiet, in the stillness, in the space where burnout had stripped Elijah down to nothing but his broken, honest self. And in that whisper, God reminded him of something crucial. "You are not alone. I have reserved 7,000 in Israel who have not bowed the knee to Baal. You are not the only one. You are not forgotten, and your work is not finished. So here's why I told you that story. Because I think maybe you're under a broom tree right now. Maybe you've given everything you have. Maybe you fought battles no one else saw. Maybe you've been faithful and strong and brave, and now you're just done. And you're wondering if God even sees you. I want you to know something. He does. Elijah's burnout didn't surprise God. It didn't disappoint him. It didn't disqualify Elijah from his calling. God didn't say, "You should be stronger than this." He said, "You need rest, you need food, you need care," because God knows that we are human. He knows that our bodies break down, that our minds get tired, that our hearts get heavy. He knows, and He doesn't shame us for it. Maybe you're like Elijah in this way. Maybe you've been running on fumes for so long that you forgot what it feels like to be full. Maybe you've been so busy doing that, you forgot how to just be. Maybe you've been so focused on not letting anyone down that you let yourself collapse. And now you're sitting here in the dark, wondering if you'll ever feel like yourself again. Here's what I want you to hear. God's first response to your exhaustion is not a to-do list. It's an invitation to rest. He doesn't need you to be strong right now. He needs you to be honest. He doesn't need you to have all the answers. He needs you to let Him meet you in the mess. Elijah didn't have to earn God's care. He didn't have to prove that he was worth saving. God just showed up with bread, with water, with gentleness, and He's showing up for you too. Maybe not in the way you expect, maybe not with fireworks or miraculous intervention, but in the small things, in the warmth of the sun on your face, in the kindness of a friend who checks in the quiet moment when you finally let yourself cry. God is in the whisper. And here's the other thing. Elijah thought he was alone. He thought he was the only one left fighting, the only one who cared, the only one still standing. But he wasn't. There were 7,000 others. People he didn't know. People who were just as tired, just as faithful, just as unseen. You are not alone either. You are not the only one who feels this way. You are not the only one who's struggling to get out of bed. You are not the only one who's wondering if it's all worth it. There are thousands of us sitting under broom trees, asking God for help, waiting for the whisper, and we're all learning the same thing. That rest is not weakness. That honesty is not failure. That asking for help is not giving up. So if you're burnt out right now, if you're heavy, if you're wondering how you're going to make it through another day, I want you to know, God sees you. He's not disappointed. He's not angry. He's not waiting for you to pull yourself together. He's offering you bread. He's offering you water. He's offering you water. He's offering you rest. And He's whispering, you are not alone. And this is not the end. God, I'm so tired. I don't know how to say this without sounding weak, but I think I'm burnt out. I think I've been running on empty for so long that I don't even know what full feels like anymore. I've tried to be strong. I've tried to keep going. I've tried to be the person everyone needs me to be, but I can't do it anymore. I feel like Elijah under that tree. I feel like I've given everything and there's nothing left, and I'm scared. I'm scared that if I stop, I'll never start again. I'm scared that if I stop, I'll never start again. I'm scared that if I admit how tired I am, people will think I'm weak. I'm scared that if I ask for help, I'll be a burden. But I can't keep pretending. I can't keep faking strength I don't have. So here I am, honest, empty, broken. God, I need you to meet me here. Not in the fire, not in the earthquake, not in the loud, dramatic, miraculous way. Just in the quiet, just in the whisper. I need you to remind me that it's okay to rest, that it's okay to be human, that it's okay to need help. I need you to feed me, not just with food, but with hope, with purpose, with the quiet assurance that I'm not forgotten. I need you to remind me that I'm not alone, that there are others out there who feel this way too, that I don't have to carry this weight by myself. I need you to whisper to me the way you whispered to Elijah, to tell me that my work is not finished, that my story is not over, that there's still reason to keep going. Because right now, I don't see it. Right now, I just feel heavy. But I'm choosing to trust that you see something I don't, that you know something I've forgotten, that you're not done with me yet. So I'm asking, give me rest, real rest, the kind that heals. Give me bread, give me water, give me the strength to take one more step, and most of all, give me yourself. Because I don't need a miracle right now. I don't need everything to change overnight. I just need to know that you're here, that you see me, that you're not disappointed in my exhaustion, that you're not ashamed of my weakness. I need to know that it's okay to be human. And so I'm giving you all of it. The burnout, the heaviness, the fear, the exhaustion. I'm giving you the parts of me that feel too broken to fix, the parts that feel too tired to keep going. And I'm trusting that you'll meet me here, not with demands, not with disappointment, but with gentleness, with kindness, with the quiet whisper that says, you are not alone, and this is not the end. So here I am, God, under my broom tree, waiting for you to show up, waiting for the bread, waiting for the whisper. Asterisk, Ascension 5, the afterglow, asterisk, you made it. You're still here, and that matters more than you know. I don't know what tomorrow holds for you. I don't know if the burnout will lift overnight or if it'll take time. But I do know this. God met Elijah under that tree, and he'll meet you under yours. He's not asking you to be strong yet. He's just asking you to eat, to drink, to rest, to let yourself be human, to let yourself be held. And when you're ready, when you've rested enough, he'll whisper to you too. He'll remind you that you're not alone, that your story isn't over, that there's still purpose ahead. But for now, just rest. Just breathe. Just let him meet you in the quiet. May you find bread when you're hungry. May you find water when you're dry. May you find rest when you're weary. And may you find in the gentlest whisper that you are seen, you are loved, and you are not forgotten. Go in peace, friend. Your broom tree is not your ending. It's just where the healing begins.